Hey folks, Crazy Collaborator here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Rollergames, and this was created by Konami in 1990. And it is based on a very short-lived TV show of the same name, Rollergames. And it is a roller derby game. And you pick from an actual roller derby league, which includes the teams of the T-Birds, the Violators, Bad Attitude, the Rockers, the Hot Flash, and the Maniacs. And like I said, this was based on a very short-lived TV show depicting these actual teams in roller derby action. And there's a look at the TV series. But the players just try to get as many points by the end of the roller derby, and the roller derby consists of like four laps. Well, maybe not 4 laps. They call it 4 cycles. And in this game, you need to beat up as many opponents as you can from the other team, and you'll get points that way, and you need to score more points than the player 2 character.
Here we go.
See, let's look here. One is in red and the other is wearing yellow. And the very first part of the derby is you go towards this edge, and you have to wail on the buttons in order to try to win that little tiny part of the cycle. And you have to do a nice jump off of the edge. And it's really quite easy. Just mash the buttons, alternating, and you'll probably win. And if you do win, you get 3 points going along the side, and then you'll get 3 more points after you jump, I believe. And those are crucial because you need to win at the end of a cycle. Well, you don't have to win at the end of like the first 3 cycles, but you definitely need to win at the end of the 4th. If you do win at the end of a cycle, you'll get more energy back. And as you get beat up by the other opponents, you'll lose energy. You can put in a bunch of credits and keep pushing player 1 start to get a bunch of extra lives. You know, when your energy runs out, you lose a life. But I think I chose T-Birds. There will be two cycles where you play a male competitor, and 2 cycles where you'll play a female competitor. And you have 2 buttons. You have one is an attack button, and one is a jump button. And you'll do various moves, but I don't know that you can really control what moves are being made. Just wail on the attack button, and you'll just do different ones. The enemies, the bigger the enemies they are, the more it takes to bring them down, usually. And some of them will grab you. And you can do like a suplex. You can grab the opponent and swing them around into other opponents, giving you some more points, which is really nice. Really, this game, it's kind of stupid that you can't determine what special move you might make. You're just mashing the buttons. But really, the game is not that hard. That was kind of cool. He slams an opponent by his legs. But the best way to go in this game is move towards the far left end of the screen. You'll get to the enemies quicker, and just keep bashing the button and knocking them down. there. I barely won that, but I did get some extra energy back because I was the leader there. Again, you do not have to win a cycle. You do not have to win every cycle, but you definitely need to win the last one. You need to be ahead at the end of the last one. So you just wail on the buttons for that little part there, and it's really quite easy. You'll get some easy points to start out. But yeah, move towards the far left of the screen and meet your opponents quickly. The computer opponent will not often do that. Well, not as often as you do if you do it all the time. You can knock down your direct opponent, the other one that's trying to get more points than you. And if you do, from what I've read, you get 3 points. I mean, you knock them down so they're out of energy. But yeah, you will need to use a continue when you lose, I think, 3 lives. Yeah, I think this is my last life here. But the action will stop as the timer counts down, so that's nice. Your opponent won't be able to pick up some extra points while you're frantically putting in an extra credit. This game's okay. I just think it's kind of stupid that there doesn't seem to be any set way to get your special moves done. You don't have to be in front when the time runs out. You just have to have more points. I mean, you don't have to again, but you will get a bonus life back.
Here we go.
And you have to be ahead at the end of the 4th cycle. Now, if you're not ahead at the end of the 4th cycle,
3 points.
you just don't advance to the next stage. And there are various cities that you will play the arenas in. There is, I forget what it's at, LA, Vegas, Dallas, Chicago, and New York. And again, you will play 2 cycles with men and 2 cycles with women. Now, I don't know that there's any real major advantage other than maybe the men have more stamina or take longer to bring down. I don't know. I do love that move, and like I said, it just does not seem that there's any way to actually do these moves. I mean, you just get lucky as you're bashing the attack button. You'll punch, you'll kick, and like I said, some of the special moves are like a suplex. You can grab the legs of the enemy and slam them down. You can maybe swing an enemy, and then you can take out other enemy skaters with the swinging body. But again, you don't have to be in front. You just have to have more points when the time runs out. And once in a while, I don't know how this is determined either, you will get to beat each other up. Just you and the main opponent skater. You get to beat each other up. Yeah, on this first part, just wail on the buttons, and you'll be able to pick up some quick points. You can attack to your sides if you're like pressing up or down and the attack button. You know, an opponent that's below or above you. But really, generally, just bash the buttons and try to go as far to the left as you can, so you can take out more opponents quickly before your opponent can take out opponents. Now the announcer is trying to say 1 point, I think. But to me it sounds like he's saying more important. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I keep I keep saying to myself, more important when I knock somebody down. But again, I guess that if you beat up the direct opponent, your main competitor, you'll get 3 points. I won by 10 points, and I won that cycle. The game really is pretty easy as long as you just keep staying to the far left and keep wailing on the punch attack button. And the manager of that team that you beat, they'll say stuff like, "I let you win," or something like that, and then you'll get a little shot of your team having won. And we're going to our next city, which is Vegas. You see all the casinos and stuff in the background. But yeah, this game's fairly easy. I never saw this or heard of this. I hadn't heard of the TV series of which this was based. The TV series did not last very long. They're trying to get people interested in roller derby and perhaps the league, the roller derby league that this was based on. And those are all real teams, I guess. The T-Birds, the Violators, the Bad Attitude, the Rockers, the Hot Flash, and the Maniacs. But there are men and women on all those teams. But you just see the men competitors or the women competitors for one cycle. But like I was saying, once in a while, and I think it's at the end of this cycle, you will get the opportunity to fight your direct competitor on a one-on-one fight. And you can punch or kick. And you don't have to win it. If you do win, you just get energy back. More important. This was suggested by YouTube user Voxo. And there I won that cycle. Winner gets bonus energy. Oh yeah, here we go. There's a kick. Use kick just as they enter your range, your kicking range, and then mix it up with some punching. There we go. But you'll be able to do that like a few times during the game in later matches. But yeah, I'd never heard of this in the arcades. Never seen the TV series, which was just called Rollergames. It was on TV at like 89 and 1990 or something. I don't deny that some aspects of roller derby are kind of cool. It had I think a little bit of interest in like the 70s and maybe before that. There's definitely some physical exertion in the sport. Kind of interesting. But like I was saying earlier, the best strategy perhaps, just keep beating up opponents, wail on that button, get up in the opponent's face, stay maybe to the far left, and just keep engaging opponents as they immediately appear on the screen. If you get an opponent behind you, you can hold back to the right, and after a couple seconds, your skater will face that way. You can do the same thing the other way to make them turn around. That's the end of the second cycle. But again, the cities are LA, Vegas, Dallas, Chicago, and New York. And if you make it all the way to the end of the fourth cycle in New York and have more points, then you win the championship cup. We're not going to play through the entire game. We'll see snippets later on of the other stages. More important. You would think that they wouldn't have trouble saying 1 point. But it sounds like they say more important. Just keep moving towards the front, wailing on the punch button as soon as you encounter enemies. You might get lucky and pull off some sort of special move, especially one where you can swing the opponent around or slam them around on the ground and maybe take out other skaters. You can do a jump kick. Like I said, there's a jump button and an attack button. You have to press jump and then the attack button. Oops. Then you'll do a jump kick.
1 point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's the end of the third cycle. And again, I don't know what prompts you to do the one-on-one fight with your opponent. But you don't have to win that.
Here we go.
If you do, you just get some energy back, that's all. As you can see, you grab one of your teammates and they sling you forward. And as you've probably noticed, the players that have the same team color as you are your teammates, and they're going to try to take on the opponent that you're going up against in terms of trying to get more points. And again, you can knock down, beat up your opponent, and if you make them run out of life, you will get 3 points. At least that's what I read. I think that's true. But I wouldn't recommend trying that. Just take on opponents as quickly as you can. Beat them up as quickly as you can. Just try to get more points. That's what it's all about. And being more important. That's just what it sounds like to me. More important. Will I hold on to the lead? Uh-oh, they're trying to catch up here. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna make it good. Yeah, really, it's not super hard, at least for the first few matches or whatever, first few cities, whatever. And then she says, "You just got lucky." That's the manager of the team I just beat. The managers of the teams, let's see, the T-Birds is Bill Griffiths Jr. The manager of the Violators is just named Skull. The manager of Bad Attitude is Ms. Georgia Hayes. The manager of the Rockers is DJ Terigno. The manager of the Hot Flash is Juan Valdez Lopez. And the manager of the Maniacs is Guru Drew. And those are the real-life managers of those real-life teams from the actual Rollergames TV series. But yeah, it was just kind of a failed attempt to get Americans involved in roller derby. I'm gonna, I think I chose not to continue. I just wanted to get a game over here. Just kinda stop playing, but I will show you snippets of the later parts of roller games. I'll put in my initials. But yeah, we'll scoot forward here and look at. This is what it looks like when you lose at the end of 4 cycles. Yeah. You cannot advance to the next city. You have to replay the city you were in. But, yeah, after the first cycle of the next city, yeah, you will do the versus thing. And then this manager says, give me your best shot. And then you go to the next city, and that's Chicago. And then this is just a look at the Chicago background. And then you do another versus fight after 1 cycle. And then this manager says, I'm going to pound you after you win. And then you go to the last city, which is New York. And it says championship game. But then we'll have a look at the end, and she says, I let you win. Hot Flash gets the championship cup. And then we'll see the credits roll by. But that is Rollergames by Konami in 1990. I believe this was released in Japan in 1991, but this was an American game, or made for Americans who appreciated the roller derby craze. Well, the craze that they were trying to bring back don't really last, but or fans of the TV series of roller games, fans of all these players. Party Patty, some goofy names for some of the participants. El Fabuloso. But this was suggested by YouTube user Voxo. And then you start the whole game over. Well, that was Rollergames by Konami in 1990, suggested by YouTube user Voxo. This is Crazy Climb Rainy saying thanks for watching Rollergames by Konami in 1990, and I will catch you later with another video in the near future. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.